Hello and welcome to A VO's Journey. This is Anthony Pica, and this show is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all of the crazy things that I seem to step on. Tonight, I've got a really cool show for you today. I had a few bumbles in the road today with the live stream and everything, but it turned out to be a really good episode and ended up streaming it live again separately on YouTube, which hopefully will change tomorrow. However, tonight's topic is super important. It's about COPPA, and that's the Child Online Privacy Protection Act, and it's super duper duper important for us because we are the people who supply the people who run those ads and run and pay for that stuff work. So it all kind of trickles down. So I'm going to dive into it and let you know what you need to know about it and how we can move forward. All right, let's do it.
This is VO's Journey. With your host, the incomparable Anthony Pica.
Hey everybody, Brad, Teresa, thank you so much, you guys, for sticking around with me during all this craziness. As you know, I'm still working through the restream, and I can get it pretty much to Twitter, YouTube, or Twitter and Facebook, and then I can do Instagram through my phone, but I can't seem to get YouTube working correctly. And I'm going to tell you what's going on with COPPA today, which is the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act. And it's a big deal. You may have heard of it. Of course, it was passed in the late 90s, came out 2000. And this law is all about protecting children online. And it was passed so that content creators and things had to answer for targeting children under 13 with inappropriate content across the board. So anyways, but why this is relevant to us right now is because if you haven't noticed, if you happen to create content on YouTube, or if you haven't noticed, there's been a lot of changes. YouTube finally settled with the FTC, and basically YouTube now is changing their entire platform, and there's a lot of things changing. So in the past, with ads and the way things have been done, okay, commercially, you could take, ads and target, all right, on YouTube pre-roll, right, specific people, age groups, et cetera, in order to collect data and from that data, get your product to the right person. For example, like maybe you are selling dog food. Or maybe you're selling toys. Maybe you're selling anything that would appeal to children. The key word here is appeal, and I'm going to read you some things right here. But anything that would appeal to children, the FTC and the government is saying now that you are absolutely not allowed to do that. There will be no way for you to target. There will not be ads. There will not be allowed to collect any data. There will not be anything available for sharing videos, et cetera, et cetera. And some of the things that are going to happen, I think, is that you're going to have a lot of content creators all of a sudden stop and really get worried. And I'm going to tell you why. First off, I want to say, I'm a dad. I have a couple kids, and I want to make sure they're safe. No doubt about that. But on the other hand, I think what is going to happen is that, there's a lot of services out there that are services and businesses that, involve children. And I don't mean like making, children pay for things, but, they involve marketing to the content that could possibly appeal to children. All right. And so basically what's happening is that the government has said to YouTube, we're going to hold you responsible, and also the creators. And if you violate this law, we're going to charge up to $42,000 plus or something per video if you break this rule, which is absolutely crazy, right? And on one sense, the content, it makes sense, right, from a being appropriate standpoint, that we want to make sure our children are protected. But at the same time, the government getting involved always screw things up. I mean, just because there's always a disconnect between what's actually happening and what, some people, in Washington think is happening. So anyways, with that being said, there are some things I think we as voice actors need to be aware of, and the things that are going to be changing. Many things. Perfect example. We as voice actors, right? A big portion of our business is video narration, is social media ads, things like that. And YouTube, with it being the second largest search engine in the world, and the videos, all right, playing such an important role in the world, that we as voice actors, we're going to be impacted by this. It's going to have an effect. And, as I stop and think, I think a lot of my business is video narration. Now, I do work for toy companies. So this is what I mean. If I'm doing a video narration for a toy company, right? Well, they can no longer target children, right? And you might think, well, that's weird. They shouldn't be able to. But if you stop and think about it, right? I mean, what do you think all the ads on TV are doing? What do you think the marketing in stores are doing with them putting the stuff on the bottom? I mean, everything is marketed towards children, and their children get their parents to buy it. Okay. And, we might say we don't like this practice, et cetera, but the reality is the reality. Where I'm going with this is, when it comes out of my mouth, it kind of sounds bad, but if you think about it, right, that's life. So for us, though, it will directly impact, that's just one small thing that will directly impact who we do business for. Video games. God, think of video games. I mean, you talk about an industry that's going to be hugely impacted on YouTube. So that means now video game creators, this is huge. Video game creators can no longer promote or run ads or share, because what they're doing is their YouTube is taking away basically every single thing. They are restructuring all of YouTube for younger audiences too, right? So like they won't be able to share, they won't be able to save videos and watch them later. They won't be able to do all of this stuff. So you're talking about the video game industry, which YouTube and everything has worked so hard to build. And I know we have Twitch, but they're going to come after Twitch too. I mean, they'll come after all of these platforms because, COPPA, yes, it's a US law, but here's the thing. YouTube, okay, is going to be held liable as well, which means that no matter where you are in the world, YouTube will shut you down and YouTube will come after you too. And if you notice, they keep changing the terms of service. There's lots of stuff happening. And what I think that means for us is that, again, we are going to feel the effects of people not purchasing as much of that pre-roll ads that we, benefit from, like all those cool video narration things, because what'll happen is your content creators are really going to start thinking twice about putting up stuff. Plus, think about this. It can impact some people's revenue. I mean, like I was listening to some other videos and stuff, up to 60 to 90%, because of the data collection is going to go away and it's not going to be able to be used, which means that, like, for example, you have kids and a lot of these people doing a lot of these searches, right? And they're going to different places, and YouTube and Google and stuff, they use all of that data. Well, they're no longer going to be able to use that data, which means that if they don't have that data, okay, they're not going to be able to use that as a viable business model, which means people and businesses won't either. So that's going to totally change what is considered viable business on YouTube and not. Another interesting thing that YouTube came out with was saying that they are going to determine whether, if you have something like, if your account, like my channel, is a viable commercial account, and if it's not, they're not going to let it be monetized. So that's a whole nother thing, right? So you're going to have people who, and it's all of this is so ambiguous, as it always is, right? So like, it's open season on a total remodel of YouTube. And it's for us, it's kind of scary in the fact that if you are, really doing a lot of that video, which if any of us are doing social video stuff, which most of us are, we will be impacted. Okay. Whether the content is changed or it's not as much. It's just a definitely interesting thing and for us to be aware of. So I think for us, before I take any questions, the important thing is that you look into this. All right. You look into COPPA, and it's important that you're aware of what's going on. But two, this is why it's so important more than ever to be out there and on the front lines of all of these things. Yes, it's a good idea to write your senator and things like that. That's important. Okay. Because there's a lot of bills still. I mean, you think about, okay, it's not a mistake that all this stuff and all these things are happening on the again, the piggybacking and stuff of, what's his name going to Washington all the time, Facebook and all this stuff, Mark Zuckerberg. And I mean, it's open season against these platforms. And I'm not saying that it shouldn't be looked at all. I'm just saying that for us, we have to always be on the forefront of what's going on, or we're going to be, left in the dust. So that's why when new platforms come out, all right, that's when when new things are happening, we are hitting them. We are first adopters. We have to be. We have to be out front. Okay, we have to figure them out. We can't be too old to figure it out. We've got to go figure it out. All right, so very important. Right, my cat is crazy. All right, anyways. So with that being said, I'd love to take any questions about this. There's so much more information out there about COPPA and how it affects us. And if you're not a content creator on YouTube, it might not necessarily affect you from a content standpoint, but it's going to affect all of us from a marketing standpoint, from a business standpoint. Because even though we might not do like every site, it's just content creators. Think about it. I mean, I do tons of work. I mean, I think almost every video narration I do goes on YouTube. It has something to do with YouTube, and there be people buying ads, that pre-roll ads, like the stuff you see before, goes on there, and it's targeted by the algorithm, that like the pixels and stuff. That's how it's targeted, and it's targeted by that data, and it's following you around. And if you can no longer follow around, you're going to cut off a huge percentage of where that data is, and the money is just going to go bye-bye, because they're going to look for different places. I'm telling you, TikTok is primed for something to happen. I mean, and if you don't think so, all I'm telling you to do is go on TikTok and look at who's on there. Now, maybe because I'm older, so I just happen to follow all the old people, but I'm telling you, like, TikTok has, I mean, every celebrity my age and older has gotten on there. I mean, it doesn't, I mean, it's not a kid place anymore. And that means that what's going to happen is that platform, there's going to, and you're already seeing it. There's custom ads that are starting to go up, and they're trying out things on TikTok. All right. And I'm telling you, that's going to be a place, again, that you want to get out in front of. You might be like, oh, that's just so stupid. A bunch of people seeing it. It's not. It's not. There are also people doing other things on there because they're testing things out. They're running ads. They're doing that kind of stuff. And it's our job to be out in the forefront of those things. Okay. It's very important. So anyways, that's my soapbox. I was just really kind of blown away. Well, let's hear what you got to say, questions or anything. I said, Brad and Teresa, hey, Greg, it's good to have you. Let's see. Government has no clue. They always jump the gun. Yeah. Storm, the transition for content creators is going to be rough while YouTube figures this. Yeah. I mean, I definitely do believe what I've been listening to other people saying. It's going to take a couple years to figure this out. So it's going to be a mess in between and very weird. And, they're going to be looking to go after someone. They're going to be looking to make some examples out of people. I can't see Mattel sitting still for this. Well, I mean, it's already done. I mean, they can do whatever they, but I mean, this stuff is already done. It's hopefully figuring out, a different way. Basically what I'm saying is it's going to be a whole new way of selling that's not actually using ads. So that's going to be completely different, right? Because that was what was generating revenue. And if you think about it, well, I first remember when YouTube, was just starting out, and even when they went to adopt a model, the ad revenue wasn't really that great still, but it's become like the absolute, probably the absolute, viable model for money. So anyways, let's see. Greg, content creators don't choose their ads, do they? Yes, yeah. I mean, when you put up an ad, you choose what ad you put up. If you mean, do they choose like where it goes? Yeah. Like, for example, you as a voiceover artist, okay, you can choose other voiceover artists to put your ad before theirs. So if you want to get really cheesy, you can actually take your demo, go to the people who have the highest listen to demos, and put your demo as a pre-roll ad before those. So people will actually hear your demo before they listen to those other people's demos. Yep, you can do it. Absolutely. Let's see. Forenza, thank you. Good that you're here live. Greg, makes sense. So how is it determined if your videos are commercial and thus hanging on the edge of being demonetized. Okay. So I have a list here of what they're going to, the criteria they're going to be using for that. All right. And this is the made for kids. So if it's made for kids, all right, this is what you are going to be. Nope. All right. The subject matter of the video. All right. This is directly from YouTube. If children are the intended audience, if it includes child actors or models, if it includes characters, celebrities, or toys that appeal to children, if it uses language that is meant for children to understand, if it includes activities that appeal to children, if it includes songs, stories, or poems that appeal to children. I mean, the word appeal, right? That's got to freak you out. Because, I mean, where does that stop? Where does that end? So that's kind of what's scary. So that's like the list of criteria that YouTube has put out. That's going to be what they are going to consider made for kids. Again, does it appeal to children? Does it appeal to them in any way? And that's, again, ambiguous, right? Because it can differ. So, that's definitely something to think about too. Let's see. Steve, if Howie Mandel is on TikTok, then it's major. Yeah, right. I mean, I'm serious. I'm blown away by the amount of people of all ages. I mean, from, young to really old. Like, it's wild what's happening on TikTok. I've never seen a platform bring together so many different ages at one time. Because usually a new platform brings together really young people, and then the older people take over after a while, after the young people grow up. But TikTok is like everybody together. It's pretty crazy. I mean, it's kind of cool, you know what I mean? But and you can already start to see it, because as I'm watching it more and more, I'm noticing that, yes, there are tons of songs out there too, and people doing that stuff, but more and more people are doing other things, right? People are showing other content that's not music and songs, because you don't have to do that to be on TikTok. You just have to keep it under the 60 seconds or so. And so anyways, okay. So let's see. So you can just choose to say the settings for adults and just never post inappropriate content. There's such a thing as choosing the setting for no set to the channel as made for kids. I never upload content for kids. That's true. There is now on everything that you produce, there is not buttons that you have to push. This is not made for content, or you can make your channel not made for children. I mean, okay. So that is true. It seems to me like COPPA will definitely affect our ability to diversify our income streams across the VO spectrum. But on the other side, we're primed to be on the cusp of what's new and next. Exactly, David. I totally agree with you. And as long as we do that, we're going to be perfectly fine. I just worry about people who get stuck, in the past, and they wait too long. So don't wait. Get out in front of stuff. Wolf Creek Training and Consulting. What's up? Hard time getting here. So, well, don't worry about it, man. It was I went live like 4 times, and the other platform is not working right. I can't get YouTube to work for me. Let's see. Steve, off topic. Can we charge to read a children's book for someone? Not on YouTube, Steve. Not on YouTube anymore. I have some people who would like to pay me to record some Dr. Seuss for their kids. Is it legal? I mean, you can, if an adult pays and another adult, yeah, I'm confused about. You can, yeah. Oh, you mean like if it's okay? So a couple things here. If it's copyrighted, okay, and someone wants to pay you to read it, you got to stay away from that, because that's illegal. However, yeah, I mean, the best thing to do is just stay away from that, right? Because you don't know what they're going to use it for. And heaven forbid, if they post that or publish it, you're in deep trouble. Okay. That's why whenever I have a suspicion like that, I ask, are you the rights holder, et cetera, because sometimes people are trying to get you to read that stuff. So anyways, let's see. Greg, man, appeal is so, yeah, I know, right? It is. I've listened to 35 of your podcast in the last 24 hours. Holy mackerel, man. Hopefully you're like, you're still listening, so that's a good thing. They get better, I promise. Greg, right. So if you choose not made for children and then proceed to make family friendly content, will they in turn penalize you? Okay, so here's the thing. The penalize, the thing that will happen to you, and the reason why it's affecting us, or it will affect us, is it's the monetization of everything. It's the ad revenue, it's the money. Okay. So basically, if you are generating income, like perfect example, I love this. Like, that family, oh my gosh, they're so funny. It's the husband, wife, and the two kids, right? And they make these family videos, and it's so funny because it's the parents making videos. I don't know if you've seen it, and they sing like the dad, he sings, and he's really good, and he plays all these different instruments, and the kids, and they do like stuff around the house. It's really cute. Anyways, we love their stuff. I love their stuff. My wife does. It's funny. But they run, like, if they're generating money from YouTube, and clearly their audience is for family, which means they will no longer be able to do that, because they will no longer to be able to run ads on accounts that are possibly geared towards family friendly stuff or children in any manner. So, so that in itself will really, hurt a lot of people, because they're also, by the way, kids who, like, for example, these tons of sites or tons of channels who do content that kids appeal to kids, right? Like content, like, doing, funny things, interesting things that kids would be interested in doing. And I'm not talking about, like baby stuff. I mean, I'm talking about like my son, who's 11, watches, these kids who are like maybe 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, making content that younger kids could enjoy too, beyond video games, like doing stupid stuff and things like that. But they're making money because they have such a wide reach. They're making money from the fact that they have this huge audience that are young people. Well, that's going to be destroyed. Okay. Because they're not going to be able to do that anymore. They're not going to be able to use that as a revenue source. Okay. So yeah. It's the appeal to children wording you have to worry about, even if you mark your channel and videos as not for kids, right? Because YouTube can then come in and determine whether or not you are actually doing this for kids or children or not, right? So it doesn't, so you also have to be aware of that as well. And what they can do is, if they deem that you have done that, they'll either, shut you down for your, they won't let you commoditize anymore at all. So that's a big issue. And again, I would watch out too, if I'm overseas and producing content. I'm not saying the US government will come after you, but YouTube will, or YouTube will at worst, just ban you or cut you off. And again, people are making complete livings and fortunes and things from this. So this is a big deal. Thanks, Greg. Garbage. The death of YouTube is upon us. Well, I don't know about the death of YouTube yet, but I do think that it is a sign that, things will definitely change. And we have to just be ready for the fact that YouTube is not going to be the same YouTube, and it will be things will continuously be, I guarantee you that I think things will continuously be restructured, rethought about, redone over the next couple of years. You know what I mean? And it'll be really weird for a while. People will, news will come out of people getting, attacked by the FTC. I mean, if you listen to that guy who came out with that statement about the fish in the barrel, and that YouTube's the barrel and the content creators are the fish, and it's easy to take a gun and shoot the fish in the barrel, and that's why they're going after YouTube, because that's where it was. I mean, they're all about it. These sites should be listed as the platforms like the phone, top monitoring content, let the free market decide it wants. Oops, I almost got political. Yeah, we won't get too political about it. But anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Sorry about all the mess earlier. I was trying to get this restream working, but it's not turning out the way I hope. So hopefully I can figure out, which interestingly enough, it could be partially having to do something with all this new stuff that YouTube is putting out, because you have to go on each time you stream. You're supposed to go on and say, yes, you have to approve that it is not for children. okay, or for children. And when the live stream, that might be an issue with Restream, because then I can go in and use the API, the API key or whatever, and that works. So who knows? All right. Well, anyways, guys, thank you so much for sticking around and waiting this long. And thank you so much for your interaction. I really think this is a big deal, and this will affect all of us. And, if you haven't had a chance, please subscribe, like, share, and let's spread this around so everybody knows what's happening and for us in the voiceover industry. All right, you guys, have a good one. Talk to you later. Peace.